Hey, I'm Kate from the Small Things blog. It's time for another frequently asked questions video. These questions are pulled from the comments of a Facebook status that I put out for a call for questions. So if you would like to participate and ask a question, be sure to like the Small Things blog on Facebook, because it's the only place, I guess that and Twitter is the only place where you can ask a question for this specific video. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. The first question reads like this. I've been trying to give my hair a break and let it air dry more often. However, every product I try to put in my hair wet, mousse or gel to scrunch it, etc., leaves my hair feeling crunchy, if that makes sense. What can I do to help my hair look better after it's air dried? Any product recommendations for those of us who are trying to go for the natural look? So with this, it totally makes sense to me that your hair is feeling a little crunchy if you're putting in a product like mousse or gel or even like a volumizing spray and just letting it air dry, because the hair, where you put that product in, that hair is going to want to sort of clump together unless you're brushing and blow drying it out. So that's a lot of times, I think, if you use a Quaj uplifting foam, for example, which is my favorite root lifter, and let your hair air dry, it'll look kind of greasy at the roots because all of the hair is kind of just clumped together wherever the product is. So if you're going to let your hair air dry, stick with smoother products like serums, or even sometimes a cream will work, but any sort of, I wouldn't even waste time using a volumizing product because you're not going to get a ton of volume from hair that's air dried anyway. And then if you put a volumizing product in, it's not going to do much because oftentimes that needs the blow dryer to help kind of lift that hair away from the scalp. So I wouldn't even mess with putting any sort of volumizing products in there. The next question says, how do you part your hair? Mine is straight and severe, just me pulling the comb end from my forehead to my crown, while yours looks natural and soft. Thanks. So I've been parting my hair in this part for so long it just falls that way. So after I've blown my hair dry upside down, I come up, and if I just brush my hair back and shake my head a little, that part will just fall where it needs to go. So if you want your part to look less severe, one, I wouldn't take a comb and just run it and separate it. I would use your fingers. And so that way, if you have a couple hairs that are sort of going whatever direction, like mine are, it's not like scalp because you separated your hair really severely with the comb. So try just using your fingers to naturally sort of separate wherever you want it to be. Okay, the next question says, other than $300 extensions and prenatal vitamins, any advice on speeding up your hair to grow longer, faster? So this is like, if there is ever an answer to this question, like a legit way to grow your hair longer, faster, that would be a game changer, because I've gotten that question so many times for this FAQ videos. I get emails about it. Everyone wants to know how to do it. First of all, there's not a lot you can do externally or internally to make your hair grow faster. If I'm remembering this correctly from beauty school, when you were in the womb being created, your hair went through 3 stages. Let's see if I can remember this. I think it's anagen, telogen, and catagen. I think those might be in the wrong order. Anyway, the one in the middle, whenever your hair is in that middle phase, that's when it's determined how long it will ever possibly be. And then the last phase is just, I think, the production of the hair. So if your hair was in that middle stage and it only was in there for a certain amount of time, you might never be able to grow it past your shoulders. If you're one of those people that's been trying to grow your hair out for like 7 years and it just does not seem to get past the shoulders, it might not be because your stylist is cutting off too much. It might be because it simply cannot grow any longer. So there's only so much you can do other than what your body is naturally going to do anyway. But the reason why prenatal vitamins oftentimes make women's hair grow faster is because it has a lot of nutrients in them. I believe most of them have some sort of biotin, which is the protein that makes up hair. I hope I'm right on that one too. But you can also just take biotin in itself. You don't necessarily have to take a prenatal vitamin. You can just go to GNC or Target and buy biotin. And a lot of times that'll help, sometimes it doesn't. It really kind of depends on your body chemistry. But that is a good way to help your hair grow faster. And then I know a lot of people may not believe me, but regular trims helps a lot because you're snipping off those little split ends. So that's always a good idea to be doing that. Let me just jump in here and say you should never take medical advice from me because I'm the farthest thing from a medical professional. So don't start taking biotin unless you've talked to your doctor and you feel comfortable doing it. Next question says, is there really any remedy to help split ends besides cutting them off? So the best remedy for split ends is cutting them off. You're right on that. Products like Redken makes a split end repair that you can put right on your ends. It's going to help sort of keep them nourished and hydrated, and maybe put a little protein in there so they don't split any further. So products will help them from splitting further, but once they're split, there's really no way to like make them grow back together. So trims are really the best thing you can do to get rid of them. If your split ends are terrible, you may need to look at sort of your hair care methods and change it up. Because unless you're doing excessive work to your hair, you shouldn't have like crazy split ends, but it's not unusual to have them by the time you need your next haircut. The next question says, how do you prevent your loose curls from migrating together throughout the day? My curls look awesome in the morning, awesome, and then migrate together in the afternoon. So the best way to keep your curls a little bit separate is product. And I think the biggest thing that I would want women to learn when styling their hair is to not be afraid of product. It will, I would not be able to do hair without product. It doesn't matter how good the cut is. It doesn't matter how good the shampoo and conditioner is. If the styling products are gone, my hair would look nothing like how it looks right now. So the best way to keep curls from migrating together is to use texturizing products. So whether that's a dry shampoo that adds a little texture to your hair, a texturizing spray, a texturizing powder, a flexible hairspray, anything that's going to coat the hair and give it a little bit of individuality, it's going to give it a little texture and grit almost, that will prevent your hair from kind of all melding together. Like super soft, shiny hair is good, but a lot of times it's all going to kind of mush together because it's all soft and shiny and it all just wants to be together. But hair that has some product and resistance on it, it's not going to want to just live together and it'll stay a little separate. So texturizing products, don't feel like you have to use dry shampoo only on your roots. I usually spray that all over my hair to give it a little bit of grit. So try that to keep your curls from meshing together. The last question says, what are your thoughts on wet to dry hair straighteners? Do they actually save work or time, or do they just cause damage to your hair? So I've only had very limited experience with wet to dry flat irons, and if you aren't familiar, that is a flat iron that basically steams your hair both dry and straight, so you can use it on damp hair. You never want to use it on soaking, dripping wet hair anyway. So if you ever wanted to try it with just damp hair, and like I said, you're just supposed to run over it and it'll dry your hair and straighten it. So in my experience, it hurt because the steam, like the water droplets, I guess, that it was steaming off were like burning my neck and my face, and I'm like, this is not pleasant, nor is it worth it. And I found that it didn't give my hair a lot of body because it was the benefit of using a blow dryer is it's going to blow your hair in the direction you want it to be. So if you have flat hair, you want to blow it up, which means you're upside down blowing it down, if that makes sense. If you have hair that's too big, you want to blow it down to smooth it out. So you don't get that with the wet to dry flat iron, so I personally didn't like the final effect. But if you don't have issues of flatness like I do and want a ton of volume, it could be a good option. I think they do a little bit more damage to your hair than regular flat irons, only because wet hair is much more susceptible to damage. It's more stretchy, it's kind of more fragile. So I don't love them. I don't think I'd ever see a time where I recommend them, but it might not be as bad as I remember. So I don't know if they save that much time. I would instead recommend getting like a blow dry spray like KMS Free Shape to cut a little time off of your blow dry. I love that product. It's like I use it on every single client at the salon. And cut time that way, and so blow dry quicker and then run the flat iron over it. That's what I would recommend doing if you need to save time. Okay, I'm going to throw in one little extra question here because I feel like I've communicated this at some point, but I'm still getting questions about it, which is not a problem, but I want to take this opportunity to address this issue once again. It's about shampoo. So someone asked, their comment reads, shampoo to conditioner one. I've just recently heard of people who shampoo their hair twice in the shower and condition it once. Is this something you do or have heard of? Why would or wouldn't you suggest it? Okay, so what I want to communicate about shampoo is it is not bad to shampoo your hair every day. A lot of us don't need to, but if you do need to, it's not bad. Just never skip the conditioner. So I came across a few comments here of people who are like, I know I'm not supposed to shampoo my hair every day and I feel terrible about myself and my hair is so greasy and oily, but I can't and I don't know what to do. Just wash it every day. You're fine. The whole concept of not shampooing your hair every day is that a lot of people don't overproduce oil or produce excessive oil to where they need to clean their scalp off. But you, for example, if you have extremely oily hair and by the end of the day you're like, I have to wash it tomorrow, you are producing enough or maybe too much oil that you need to wash off your hair. So you would be doing the same service to your hair by shampooing it every day that someone that doesn't have an excessive amount of oil would be doing by skipping a day or two. So look at your hair needs and what it does and then go from there. Don't feel like you're a terrible person if you wash your hair every day. It's totally fine. Just use a good conditioner and you'll be good to go. So in regards to shampooing twice and conditioning once, the concept behind that is probably similar to what stylists are taught in school, where you shampoo once to get sort of the external stuff off of the hair. So this could be products, well, it's mostly products, maybe a little bit of dirt, whatever. Then the second shampoo is where you really get down to the, you've kind of gotten off all of the stuff on the outside. The second shampoo is where you get really clean, you get any oil off, any sort of residue that's been sitting on there for a while. So it's just a way to sort of deep clean your hair. And then you really never need to condition twice because it's just sort of pointless. You can't do more with conditioner than what conditioner already does. So I don't think most people need to shampoo twice every day unless maybe you're one of those people that has excessive oil. But one shampoo should be sufficient as long as you're using the pads of your fingers to really rub around in there. You should get it clean enough. But if you go to the salon and notice they do that, it's just because usually you're having your hair done, whether it's a chemical service or just a cut, and it's just a good way to kind of get it extra clean. Think of it like a sort of like a cleansing shampoo, something that's a little bit more pumped up than a traditional shampoo. So it's just a way to get your hair really clean. So you don't have to do that. That might be overkill. You might notice a little bit more dryness. So I think one shampoo and one condition is sufficient. Alrighty, that is all that I have for today. Thank you for asking these questions, and I hope these were helpful or informative for you. I try and do one of these FAQ videos once a month, so again, if you like on Facebook, you will see when I put out the call for questions and you can ask. Thanks for watching.